sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so you wanted like the full breakdown of Luka's first game as a Laker. And let me tell you, it was wild. We got articles and tweets and expert takes, basically a ton of stuff to get through. So let's just dive right in and figure out like what actually matters here.
Yeah, it's crazy how just this one game has caused so much discussion already. I mean, Luka's performance, the fans, the analysts, it all kind of points to a really interesting new chapter for the Lakers.
For sure. Okay, so the Lakers hosted the Jazz Monday night at Crypto.com Arena. Final score, 132-113. A pretty solid win for the Lakers. But everyone was obviously watching Luka. What were your biggest takeaways from his first game as a Laker?
Well, I mean, if you just look at the basic stats, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in 24 minutes, it might not seem like a superstar performance, right? And his shooting wasn't even that great. 5 for 14 from the field and only hit 1 3-pointer out of 7 attempts. But, that's why we got to look past the box score. Remember that StatMuse tweet with his plus-minus?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Plus-minus is always interesting. Can you explain that for our listeners, though? Like, what does that really tell us about how Luka played?
Yeah, it's a really good way to look past the individual stats and see how much a player actually contributes to winning. So basically, plus-minus measures the point difference when a player's on the court versus when they're off. So Luka being plus 15 means the Lakers outscored the Jazz by 15 points while he was playing, which is a pretty big impact, even if he wasn't, scoring a ton of points himself.
Right. And I think some people were saying he looked a little rusty, which makes sense, considering he was just traded. But then there was that one moment.
Oh, yeah. The Dirk fadeaway. And Dirk was literally right there watching, too. ESPN shared a video of it, and you can just feel the energy in the arena. It's pretty cool, because Luka's always said Dirk is his idol.
Totally. And you know how we talked about how much debate this game was causing? Well, that one shot seemed to start a whole new wave of discussion.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Everyone was instantly comparing it to LeBron. I mean, the NBA's official account even tweeted a side-by-side video of their fadeaways and called them a superstar duo. This is obviously just for the fans, but... And it shows you how excited people are about these two playing together.
Yeah. And speaking of fan reactions, Luka updates that big fan account on Twitter. They posted a picture of Luka looking so happy during the game. That picture was everywhere. And then, of course, we've got all the expert takes to unpack.
Right. Dave McMenamin from ESPN was talking about the Lakers' winning streak, which is now at 6 games. He pointed out some other great performances, too, like LeBron had 24 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. So it wasn't all about Luka.
Yeah, definitely not. But it seemed like a lot of analysts were really focusing on LeBron and Luka playing together. Sam Quinn was pointing out their plus-minus when they were both on the court.
Oh, yeah.
Plus 17 in just 19 minutes.
Wow. That's some pretty good chemistry early on. Yeah, it's a really small sample size, of course, but it's definitely something to watch. And then Kendrick Perkins went all in. He called the game an appetizer and said he thinks these two are going to be super successful together.
Wow. Is it too early to say that?
I mean, it's definitely early. But that chemistry is undeniable. And it's not just about how they play together. It's about how Luka's presence changes things for the whole team. Remember that tweet from @HowAboutAFresca?
Oh, yeah.
That was a really smart observation. They talked about how well Reeves and Hachimura were shooting. They even compared the Lakers' starting 5 to the Knicks in terms of how effective they were on offense.
Oh, well, the Knicks.
I know, right? But the point is, Luka elevates everyone around him.
So it's not just about Luka scoring himself. It's about how he makes everyone else better. How would you explain that to someone who hasn't really watched Luka play before?
Well, it's all about his playmaking ability. He draws so much attention from the defense that it opens up shots for his teammates. He's not just a scorer. He's a facilitator, a floor general. He makes everyone around him better.
Okay, but let's go back to that Dirk connection for a minute. He wasn't just like making a quick appearance in the crowd. He was sitting with Luka's family. There's a great photo from Abby Jones on Twitter that really captures that mentor-mentee relationship.
Yeah, it's a really powerful image. Luka has talked about how much he admires Dirk and how he studied his game. And to have him there for this specific debut, I think it means a lot. It goes beyond just basketball skills. It's about a legacy, a passing of the torch. What do you think that mentorship could mean for Luka, especially playing in LA with all that pressure and attention?
We all know how much pressure comes with playing for the Lakers, especially with a teammate like LeBron James. Having someone like Dirk who's been there and done that could be invaluable for Luka. But even with all the seriousness, there were some really fun moments from the game, too.
Oh, for sure.
Remember that clip House of Highlights shared? of Luka reacting to LeBron on a fast break.
Oh, yeah.
You could just see the pure awe on his face, like he was still a fan watching his idol.
Yeah. It was a good reminder that under all the analysis and expectations, these are still people who love the game.
Totally. And that human side of it is what makes this whole story so interesting. And it wasn't just fans and analysts who were blown away. Even veteran journalist David Aldridge tweeted that he still can't believe Luka is a Laker.
It's pretty crazy.
It shows you just how huge this trade was.
Yeah.
And how much it shook up the league. And with this win, the Lakers are now 32-19, solidly the 5th seed in the West. The playoffs are looking pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
But this is just the beginning. They play the Jazz again on Wednesday before the All-Star break. It's almost like a mini playoff series right out of the gate.
Exactly. A chance for both teams to make adjustments and for Luka to get more comfortable in the system.
Right. And then after the All-Star break, the real push for playoff seeding starts.
Yeah, and there's another layer to this, something you specifically wanted to understand about how Luka changes things for the other players.
Oh, yeah. How his presence impacts everyone else on the court. That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah, it's not just about, the points he scores or the assists he gets. It's about how he changes the whole game for everyone else. Think about it. Luka is like a magnet for the defense. Opposing teams are so focused on trying to stop him that it creates opportunities for everyone else on the Lakers.
Oh, so he's kind of like a decoy, drawing attention away from the other players so they could do their thing.
Exactly, and we saw that in this game. Reeves and Hachimura were getting open shots that they probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And remember at how Fresca even compared the Lakers starting 5 to the Knicks in terms of how well they were playing on offense?
Which is kind of funny, right? Because the Knicks aren't exactly known for their offensive firepower.
Yeah, but that's the point. Luka's presence makes everyone better. It changes the whole dynamic of the offense, and that's only going to become more obvious as the season goes on. Other teams will start planning specifically to stop Luka, which is going to open up even more space for his teammates.
So it's like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
His impact goes way beyond his own individual stats.
Exactly, and that's what makes him such a special player. He's not just a scorer. He's a playmaker, a facilitator. He changes the whole game.
Okay, but let's get back to that Dirk Nowitzki thing for a second. Remember that photo we talked about with Dirk sitting with Luka's family?
Oh, yeah. That photo really says a lot about their relationship. Luka's always said how much he looks up to Dirk and how Dirk has been a mentor to him. And for Dirk to be at that game, for Luka's very first game as a Laker, I think it means a lot.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what kind of conversations they're having. What advice is Dirk giving Luka about playing in L.A.?
Yeah.
With all the pressure and expectations that come with being a Laker.
Yeah, that's a conversation I'd love to listen in on. Dirk has seen it all. Championships, MVP awards, the ups and downs of playing in a tough market like Dallas. He knows what it takes to be successful under that kind of pressure.
And you can tell Luka really respects his advice. You can see Dirk's influence in Luka's game, especially that fadeaway shot. It's almost like a tribute to Dirk.
It's like a passing of the torch from one generation of European basketball stars to the next.
And it's not just about basketball skills, is it? It's about mentality, leadership, work ethic, all the things that made Dirk such a respected player.
Exactly. And Luka seems to be learning all of that. He's not just trying to copy Dirk's moves. He's trying to understand his whole approach to the game, his professionalism, his dedication.
So this Luka Lakers story is about more than just wins and losses. It's about legacy and mentorship and the development of a young player who could become one of the all-time greats.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And then there's the LeBron factor. We talked about Dirk's influence, but what about playing alongside someone like LeBron James?
Yeah, that adds another layer of complexity to this whole thing. We know LeBron is a vocal leader, and he's been a mentor to a lot of young players throughout his career.
Yeah.
What do you think LeBron's role is in Luka's development?
I think LeBron's playing a really subtle but important role here. He's not trying to take over or overshadow Luka. He's letting Luka figure things out for himself. But he's also there to give advice and support when Luka needs it.
So it's almost like a masterclass in leadership, just by watching how LeBron handles himself on and off the court.
Exactly. And Luka's a smart guy. He's paying attention and learning from the best. He's getting the best of both worlds, the wisdom of a legend like Dirk, and the real-time mentorship of someone who's still dominating the game like LeBron.
And we can't forget, LeBron is still putting up big numbers himself. He had 24 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds in this game against the Jazz.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's not just a mentor. He's still a force to be reckoned with. And that's what makes this duo so dangerous. They complement each other perfectly.
It's the perfect mix of youth and experience, raw talent, and refined skill. And they seem to be playing well together already, which is a really good sign for the Lakers.
Absolutely. And this was just their first game together. Imagine how good they'll be as they develop more chemistry.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here. We've talked about Luka's performance, the reactions, the expert takes, the Dirk connection, the LeBron factor.
And we even touched on the Lakers' playoff chances, which are looking pretty good right now.
But there's one thing I want to go back to. That tweet from @HowAboutAFresca comparing the Lakers starting five to the Knicks. It might seem like a weird comparison, but I think it highlights something really important about Luka's impact.
Yeah, I agree. It shows that Luka's not just a one-man show. He makes everyone around him better. He elevates the whole team.
And that's what wins championships, right? It's not just about having the best players. It's about having a team that plays well together, a team that uses its strengths to the fullest.
Exactly. And that's what makes this Luka Lakers experiment so interesting. It's not just about Luka's individual talent. It's about how he fits into the bigger picture and how he makes everyone around him better.
And how he handles the pressure of playing in LA with all the expectations that come with being a Laker.
Yeah. It's a fascinating case study in leadership and teamwork and the development of a young superstar.
Definitely. And they play the Jazz again on Wednesday. It'll be interesting to see how both teams adjust after this first game.
Yeah, it's like a mini playoff series, a chance for Luka to get more comfortable with his new team and to test himself against a tough opponent.
Right. And then after the All-Star break, the real playoff push starts.
Yeah.
Things are going to get really intense.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Definitely. You know, amidst all the excitement and all the analysis, there was one moment from this game that really stood out to me. That clip of Luka reacting to LeBron on the fast buck. You know, the one House of Highlights shared. It's easy to get caught up in all the stats and the trades and, you know, the championship talk. But that moment, it kind of brought everything back down to earth. These are just guys playing a game they love and inspiring millions of people while they do it.
Yeah, it's easy to forget sometimes.
Yeah.
With all the hype and analysis. But that look on Luka's face, it was pure joy. You know, it reminds you why we all love this game. And Luka seems to be holding on to that joy. Even with all the pressure of playing in LA. Makes you wonder what's next for him. How will this whole Luka Lakers thing play out?
Well, if this first game is any indication, it's going to be exciting, that's for sure. Remember, this is just the beginning. We've barely scratched the surface of what this team can do. Right.
We've got the rematch against the Jazz on Wednesday, then the All-Star break, and after that, the real playoff push begins.
Yeah.
What are you most excited to see as this all unfolds?
I'm really interested to see how Luka grows. How will he handle the challenges and the pressure? You know there are going to be ups and downs throughout the season. And how will his partnership with LeBron develop? Can they actually lead this team to a championship?
So many questions. It feels like we're watching something special unfold. Maybe even historic.
Yeah, and it's not just about basketball, is it? It's about leadership and mentorship. It's about the human side of the game. It's about the impact Luka has on and off the court.
Right.
And the legacy he's building.
And, you know, you were asking earlier about Luka handling the pressure in LA. Having Dirk as a mentor could be huge for him. Dirk knows what it takes to thrive in a tough market like that and to build a lasting legacy.
Exactly. And don't forget about LeBron's influence, too. He's a great leader. Luka's in the perfect environment to become a true superstar.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all this?
I want them to remember that Luka's debut wasn't just a game. It was a statement. A glimpse into a future full of possibilities. It was the start of a story that could captivate the basketball world for years to come.
And it's a story that we'll be following every step of the way, right here on The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a topic that you choose.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're Bobby doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get